Heyo everybody, Haku here with my live reaction for One Piece chapter 1098. We're really moving in close to 1100, and actually, I'll be honest with you, color me surprised. For some reason, didn't think we'd have a One Piece chapter this week. So before I went back to doing reactions, I would look at the spoilers, and that's how I would know that we have another chapter coming. But since the past couple months of coming back to doing videos, I haven't looked at spoilers anymore, obviously, since I'm doing reactions, and because of that, I just kind of check TCB on Wednesday, Thursday, just see if a new chapter is up, and I happened to check it this morning. It's Thursday as I'm recording this, and there was a new chapter up, and for some reason I was surprised. I don't know why. I guess it's because we've been having so many breaks recently that I'm just on assume there's always a break brain. So I am pleasantly surprised. This one's called The Birth of Bonney, I believe. So that's nuts. I have been, as you know if you've been watching, Team Ginny is probably Bonnie's mom. Still, actually haven't looked at the raws to see if it's Ginny or Guinea. I've just been saying Ginny more often than not. So yeah, a lot of people when she first showed up were immediately like, whoa, Luffy's mom, and I'm like, Occam's razor, doesn't it make more sense that she would be Bonnie's mom? But then, I've also heard the theory recently that Bonney could just be a clone of Jenny, and since cloning was just introduced this arc, and we don't know how Kuma's relationship with Vegapunk started, actually, you know what? I don't think that's an awful theory. I really don't think that's very far out there. Or just the fact that Bonney could be an adoptive daughter of Kuma to me makes a lot of sense, especially because Bonney hasn't been born yet, and we're at the point where we're, 14 years before present time? 14 years before present time, so 12 years before the start of the series, 12 years before the pre-time skip where we saw Bonney. So who knows? Actually, there's a lot of different options here. I guess if she is born, that makes her, rather than however old, I'm pretty sure Oda had said before she was 20-something. So either that's a retcon or just a lie. You're allowed to just lie. So Oda's like, turns out I lied to you. And I'm fine with that. Like, if it's as simple as that. But either way, before getting into reading, let's go through the bingo card as always. And as always, if you want to play along and generate your own unique card yourself, the link to it will be in the comments and in the description. You can make your own card, or generate your own card from the prompts that I've put in. But yeah, either way, going through the card, we have, I added 3 new ones instead of the usual 5 new ones, because honestly, compared to last chapter, I feel like not a ton has changed in what we could potentially expect. So I put Ginny, someone's mom, any Straw Hat member, York, Smoker. I tried to add in a few that were like out of nowhere, or a few that would still be applicable if we went back out of the flashback. We have Flashback, Karen Andor, Zunisha, Zoan Transformation, Vivi, Wapple, or Morgans, Vegapunk, any island other than Egghead, a named character death, a bounty reveal, a free space which we can click, a new cover story which we still have not had, and it's been forever since I've been back to doing reactions, a named attack, Where's Caribou, a new named Devil Fruit, one of the new spaces, Crocodile, Devil Fruit Awakening, because we still don't know Crocodile and Ivankov's relationship or whatever, and I thought to myself when thinking of what could be a new space, maybe we'll see Ivankov and Crocodile. Maybe we'll get some context for that finally here. Bonnie's actually a child, which is looking more and more likely, but we don't have confirmation quite yet. An Admiral, which is a new space I added in, if we see any of the Admirals. Back to the Present, that's the last third new space I put back in. Godosei, Egghead Butt Fan Service, or Kuma. And a lot of these are looking very likely, so maybe we will finally get a bingo. I don't think we've actually gotten one yet. So here we go. Let's start reading Chapter 1098, The Birth of Bonney. And we have Brooke on the cover here. Cover request, still no new cover story. Cover request by Skywalker. Is that Noda Skywalker, who is like the one who always does requests? Brooke powering his electric guitar solo with an electric eel. This chapter's manuscript is unfinished. Sorry, Oda. Okay, what does that mean? I wonder. Alright, we have the birth of Bonney. And actually, before we even get into the chapter, we can click on any Straw Hat member. We got Brooke here. So let's go then back to the chapter. Okay. Revolutionary Army HQ Baltigo. Alright, honestly, Flashback would explain why we're getting Baltigo, but I never expected Baltigo in the story again. The expanding tides of revolution. Requesting backup, the Tuomi uprising in the South Blue is looking bleak. We can't, our hands are full, dealing with the wounded at Goa. Eva-chan. Okay. 14 years, so at Goa. 14 years ago. Is that when I would, or unless we moved up again and we're less than 14 years, we might have moved up in time again. Because that's maybe when the Sabo stuff happened? Eva-chan. I'll go. Don't be rash, Kuma. You've been acting reckless ever since that day. What the? This guy's huge. Where'd you come from? State your name. And he can just teleport himself. Jinny's been captured. Yes, sir. It seems she caught the eye of a celestial dragon. This is a change I wasn't expecting. If Bonney is half celestial dragon because of nefarious means. Oh, okay. This is surprising. But hold on, we have some things here. We have Goa Kingdom and also Baltigo. We're still in the flashback. We see Kuma. Let's see, what else do we have? We've got. There was one more. Hold on, where is it? Sorry, I'm just going through them. I don't know if you can see my mouse or not as I'm doing it. Any island other than Egghead. That's what it was. Okay. So named attack and Bonney being a child, this is extremely possible. I might have got a good seed here. Okay, let's continue then. Let's continue with reading. There we go. They took her on a government ship because the celestial dragon wanted to make her his bride. We won. After 3 years of struggling, we couldn't have done it without the Revolutionary Army. We see people celebrating. The enemy took us by surprise. It was the Revolutionary Army again. Here's to the. I guess what Oda meant by sorry at the beginning. I've seen this happen before. It's happened for like a chunk of Hero Academia, and some manga like do it consistently, where the art does look unfinished. So I guess for the weekly release, it's just unfinished, and then it'll be fixed for the volume release. So actually, I kind of don't mind that. It's kind of cool because it makes you wonder when we get the volume release, what changes might be made to it. Here's to the Revolutionary Army, the heroes of the people. Please forgive us. Dragon, it's me. I've worn myself out. I'll have to return by ship. We're so sorry. Okay. Alright. Around 2 years have passed since Commander Jinny of the Revolutionary Army was kidnapped. And we have crying, to be wed to a celestial dragon. We're nearly there, Bonney. Okay. Kuma, it's Jinny. She's on the line right now. What? Hey, Kumachi, I finally made it back to the surface. And again, back to the surface is also what Saturn said. So I guess maybe that's what they call it when they come down from Miriwa. Jinny, they didn't want me around after I got sick, so I was thrown away. What a stroke of luck. You're sick? I wanted to see everyone one last time, but this'll have to be our goodbye. What? What are you talking about, Jinny? Where are you? I can be there in an instant. I was afraid I'd never see you again. Alright. Kumachi, sorry, but I'm at death's door. What? I'm glad you care about me, really, but you shouldn't come when I'm like this. Dragon, big bro. And then Kuma vanishes. Kumachi has a big heart. Please take care of him for me. Get out of the way. There's only one place she'd go now. I feel like I'm tearing up. Kuma-san. And Kumachi, I just want you to know. I love you. I always have. Always will. And then the snail hangs up. Kuma, you're back. Where's Jinny? She's here, right? She is, but I'm afraid. It happened when she got exposed to natural light. Her face, her entire body. It turned all blue when the sun. And her skin hardened like stone. Kumachi. That's not what happened in Flavence, right? Hold on, I gotta keep reading. Kumachi. I'm just so happy. What could have done this to her? Hey Kumachi, let's get married. Wouldn't it make you happy? She burned up her remaining time, exposing herself to the sun so she could cross the ocean and make it home to us, because she wanted to ensure her baby's safety. Okay. This is interesting deep lore stuff here that might come into play even further in the future. At this point, this is 2 more years, so this is 12 years or less ago. Or like, she would have been 10 pre-time skip. So I think we can confirm Bonnie's actually a child, and I think we can also confirm Ginny is Bonnie's mom. Anything else? God, this is a heartbreaking chapter. This is one of the best flashbacks, though. This has been a really, really nutty flashback. And a named character death with Ginny. I guess that's it for now. So we have our third that we know of, if we're counting. Well, we don't know Shanks's entire genealogy or whatever, but you could count Shanks, Doflamingo, and Bonney as like fallen celestial dragons, right? And then you can rest now, Ginny. I swear, I'll raise her well. And then we see her grave. That's all wrong. You're tilting the bottle too much. Is this better? Bonnie-chan still looks uncomfortable. I'll show you how it's done. She's so cute. And you're going to be sleeping next to her to make sure her cot is like an iron cage. Or if you're going to be sleeping next to her, make sure her cot's like an iron cage. We can't have you smushing her in your sleep with that massive body. Okay, so we have Kuma with all the old people in his old village taking care of Bonnie. You're quite the heavy drinker, Bonnie-chan. I'm sure you'll be just as much of a glutton as Ginny was. I'm still hungry. Man, I love Kuma so much. Daddy! And he's crying. So he raised her basically from birth. And we have her getting older, Kuma crying, him laughing, and then her copying his hand movement as we see him fighting. So we see him both fighting with the revolutionaries back and forth with him raising Bonnie. Because he can just snap himself back and forth. We have him training Sabo. Kuma, what in the world are you doing? You've boarded up all the church's windows. Close the door. Take a look here below her eye. Is that a blue stone? Hey, isn't that... Looks just like what Ginny had at the end. I'll call a doctor. Thank you. It's caused by sunlight, you say? Are you sure? Why don't we try taking her outside? Are you insane? It doesn't seem to... Okay, it doesn't seem to be white lead poisoning, so it's not what happened with Flavence. I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with this condition. So whatever this is, people turning into, like, blue crystals, basically, is something that has to do with when Ginny went to the Celestial Dragons. Maybe this happens to any? Well, then it would have happened to Doflamingo. I don't know, maybe that's part of the Celestial Dragon's secret. Maybe it's something that can happen to them. Or people who are around them, since Ginny wasn't one from birth. You're quitting the Revolutionary Army? What? Bonnie's contracted the same disease her mother had. Yes, I feel like this is deep lore stuff. And also, Dragon has the marking on his face now. He did towards the end of last chapter. So something that happened like between 2 points in time is when he got it, and we still don't know what that is. I don't know if it's the right thing to do, but I have to stay by her side. I understand. It's important to live without regrets, says Dragon. We can use our contacts to reach out to doctors all over the world for her. I owe you, Dragon. 7 years ago when Bonnie was 5. Okay, so Bonnie was 5 7 years ago. That means she was 10 post-time skip and Bonnie is 12 now. Run away. The vampire's gonna eat us. And stay out, you twerps. We have Bonnie age 5. Bleh. This is as far as you can go, right? And then, I dare you to step out here, you ugly vampire. Eat this. I bet the Holy Cross is your weakness. Look at this shine. We're in a church, dummy, and she kicks him. I'll show you who's boss. I'm coming after you. And I wonder if these random kids are ones that end up being in Bonnie's crew. Oh, Bonnie, stop. Please, you can't go outside, says Kuma. Even standing near the doorway can give you the ouchies. I know you're such a worrywart, Dad. I was just kidding. Please, don't even joke about it. Okay, I hate it when you get all sad and worried into it. I love this how Kuma looked just like 5 years ago, or 7 years ago. You're such a good kid. Stop being such a crybaby, Dad. Those jerks. They made fun of my face stones again. Are they really that weird? It's not like I can help them. I didn't ask to get sick. And I guess maybe the devil fruit is what helped her? You mean your jewels? Oh, is this how she became Jewelry Bonnie? Well, they're just jealous, because you've got such pretty jewelry. Hehehe, you think so? You betcha, I love them. Hey, Bonnie, if you were to go on... Oh, man, hearing this line from Kuma is amazing. If you were to go on a trip, where would you like to go? For when you're better, I mean. Oh, I know. Have you heard about the legendary Sky Islands? There are islands way up in the air. That's right, I read about it in this book. It's close to the sun, so maybe we'll see Nika up there. You'd love that, right, Dad? And he starts singing the song while making the pose. That sounds like a grand adventure. We can go there to have a big celebration for your 20th birthday. Where should we go for your 19th? Fishman Island. After examining your daughter, I've concluded that she suffers from sapphire scale. I'm afraid it's incurable. You know what it is. And sorry to ask, but can you please speak a bit quieter? These days you almost never see it. It actually makes you curious. Does the devil fruit save her? Because it's like, how would it do that if she just, controls like her aging or whatever? Or is it a clone thing? Did the original Bonnie end up dying and was replaced with the current clone Bonnie? These days you almost never see it. Those stones grow exponentially when bathed in any form of natural light, like the sun or the moon. But even if you and again, the sort of significance of it being like the sun and moonlight that causes the sapphire scale to grow. But even if you completely prevent any exposure, I'm afraid it's only a matter of time before the disease catches up with you. Forgive me for being so blunt, but your daughter has another 5 years at best. It'll be a miracle if she reaches her 10th birthday. I'm afraid it's simply terminal, going by our current scientific understanding of it. It'll be over by her 10th birthday. This isn't fair. She's already growing into such a strong woman. Is there really no cure? And then, boo! Wah! And he falls over. Bonnie, I thought you were asleep. I heard it over. You said it'll be over by my 10th birthday, right? Your 10th? I have no idea what you're talking about. I heard you say it. Hey, are you crying? Is it something I said? Yes, he said when you're 10, it was about your illness, Bonnie. That stupid doctor. He told me that your condition's going to continue as it is till you're 10. Oh, is she going to misunderstand and think she'll be fine after that? It's such an appalling amount of time. I couldn't help but get down after that. That means I'll be all better when I'm 10, right? So we can go on those trips. Isn't that right, Daddy? Oh no. What have I done? Of course, by the time you've turned 10, you'll be cured. Yippee! What am I going to do? A familiar nightmare would soon descend on the kingdom of Sorbet only 1 year later. Kuma, you've got to save us. King Bekuri has returned, and he's just as monstrous as ever. It's just like 16 years ago. He still wants to cut loose the country's dead weight. He's going to burn the people in their homes. What? The never-ending tragedy continues to unfold. Man, this is an incredible chapter. This is a heartbreaking backstory. And not only is it heartbreaking, it adds so much to characters we already have. I can't believe we got No Named Attack. It adds so much. I'm going to forget about the bingo for now. We didn't get it. Not only does it add so much to characters we already have, there's like the sapphire scale stuff and the sun and moonlight, Ginny having Bonnie as a child with a celestial dragon. All of this is like, to me, super like big lore stuff. Also Bonnie's age being different than what we were told is, again, just big stuff for the timeline of One Piece. And it really makes you wonder if we're getting a backstory this in depth. I hate the Bonnie for Straw Hat stuff, but at the same time, it's like, where where is this taking her character? Because at first I thought this stuff was taking her character to become like a new face of the revolutionaries in a way, along with Sabo and everything. I figured that this would lead her to the revolutionaries, but does it? I mean, it might still, because Ginny was in the revolutionaries, Kuma was one of their 3 pillars. So does this lead her to becoming like a big revolutionary if the revolutionaries show up to save the Straw Hats from Saturn at Egghead? Which I think is, to me, one of the 2 big possibilities, and they might be one possibility in the same. I think either Kuma comes, teleports them all away, and dies for good there, or, and that seems extremely likely, or the revolutionaries come to save them. And it could be both. It could be both. It could be Kuma comes there to save them and has his death, but he could have his death with the other revolutionaries around too, and then the Straw Hats get out of there, and characters like Vegapunk, because it would feel weird for all of the Vegapunks to come with the Straw Hats after this to me, unless we're just teleporting out of there and they immediately they stay on Elbaf with Saul or whatever. So, to me, the Vegapunks going with Dragon and going with the revolutionaries after Egghead, and even Bonney going with them too, that would make sense. Maybe that's the future. This is so interesting, and I like the way this ended, because there's still a lot of mystery. It really hooks me for next chapter. What I mean is, the mystery is, we don't know how Bonnie's going to get through this disease, but we know she does. Is it going to be because of her devil fruit? What's this whole burning of the south of the Sorbet Kingdom going to be like? Because if it burns Kuma's church, then Bonnie's gonna be exposed to the light, the sun or moonlight, you would think. So does Kuma get Bonney help from Vegapunk, and that's how his relationship with Vegapunk starts? Because we still haven't learned how Kuma's relationship with Vegapunk starts, which is a huge thing since he gets turned into the Pacifista. He gets kind of turned into a cyborg, plus the Pacifista are created from him. But you get what I'm saying. Like, his relationship with Vegapunk is very important, and we still don't have context on that. So is she going to be saved by Vegapunk? Does he have good medical technology? Is she going to be saved by the Devil Fruit? And we don't know how that will be explained. Her Devil Fruit hasn't even been brought up yet. So that's still a big mystery. Yeah, we still have no idea how any of that's going to be solved, but we do know that because she's alive now, it will be solved. Unless, again, maybe the church is destroyed. Maybe, like I said, the real Bonney dies here. I don't think Oda's gonna do that. That might be too dark, but what do I know? The real Bonney, if the real Bonney dies and Vegapunk makes a clone Bonney, which is the current one, I don't know if that, and maybe that's why Bonnie's an adult, because the clone bodies just, maybe clones just age to that age. Maybe that's why Stussy, the clone Stussy, is the age that she is. Maybe there's sort of a locked-in point for what clones end up as. So maybe real Bonney dies, and fake Bonney is, I hate saying fake Bonney, but clone Bonney is the one we currently have, maybe. In which case, original Bonney might not even be dead. Original Bonney could have just been put in stasis or something and replaced with clone Bonney until they could find a cure for the disease. So there's a lot going on, and I love the way that this is still kept as a mystery. But either way, I will end this video now. Thank you so much for watching. Like if you did like the video, and comment down there to tell me what you thought of this chapter, my first thoughts and reactions. Subscribe for more One Piece, much more on the channel. If you want to talk down there in the comments, it would be appreciated. I love talking about One Piece. If you want to talk on Discord, just ask and I can give you a link, free and open for anyone. If you want to talk on Twitter, we can as well. If you want to help support the channel to continue to help me to make videos, drop a super thanks if you want to, or if you want One Piece early. Again, I should probably say this every video. I should probably make it clear. I post One Piece as soon as the scans come out for patrons and channel members, and then when the official translation comes out, I post it publicly for everyone. So if you want One Piece early, if you want it when the scans come out, or really as soon as I get to it after the scans come out, then just hit join down below to become a channel member, or if you just want to support me, you can do this as well. If you want to help me to keep making videos, it is patreon.com/Haku of the tubes, or a link will be in the description. That'll be down there in the description too. Like I said, if you wanted to play along, I always put the links to make your own bingo card in the comments and description. But also, the patrons and channel members all get a shout out in addition to getting One Piece early. So thank you. Thank you so much to patrons and channel members. Thank you to Chosen Regular Evan Hawley, to Magical Girls FR Nono and Smeller Dog, to Cherryton Student David Langstaff, to Slayer Candidate SG, and to Pure Element Pate Ardiallo. Thank you all so much for your support. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.